fellow travelers, Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And today, we're actually not going to be exploring D.C., we're going to be exploring around D.C., and we're going to give you the best day trips that you can go to when you're here in D.C., because a lot of people come here for a family trip and they spend a lot of time just in D.C., but sometimes you forget there's a lot of really good stuff just outside the city that you can go visit and maybe a little farther afield. And I think probably the biggest one for people to go to is going to Mount Vernon. George Washington's estate, Mount Vernon. It is incredible with the history they have there, the pieces that they have in the building, but also you learn about George Washington, the man, the person. You learn about his enslaved people and how their lives were. It's a great educational experience. And you have a great view of the river right behind his estate, which makes it a really relaxing place to go. And honestly, if you got your car, 30 to 40 minutes without traffic, you can be there. And right next to Mount Vernon, another place you can go to is Alexandria, Virginia. This is those really cute, quaint coastal towns because Alexandria was an old port, okay, during the Revolutionary War and before then. I mean, it's been a port city for a long time. So it has these cute cobblestone streets and all these cute buildings. And yes, you can go see the Spite House, which is like the skinniest house in the U.S. You can go to the torpedo factory. And no, it's not a torpedo factory. It's actually an art center now. So you can see the artists actually making the art and displaying their art. And when you go around, there's tons of little cute restaurants and beautiful homes you can go visit, which is really nice. But we've got a video on Alexandria. You can watch that for more tips. And what's cool is Alexandria is actually really close. It's on the metro line, okay? So you can actually take the metro from the center and go out there. It's really, really cool. Now, next up, you're going to need a car to get out to there, and that is actually going to Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. Yes, you can get to West Virginia from here. Hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes, maybe more, maybe less, depending on traffic and when you're going. But honestly, Harper's Ferry is gorgeous. Just West Virginia in general is gorgeous. But you have two rivers coming together with the mountains and the hiking you can do there, just walking around the historic town. It is fantastic. And you have the Harper's Ferry National Historic Park you can visit as well. Now, another day trip that a lot of people don't realize is actually can be a day trip from here is going to Baltimore. Honestly, people from DC like to go to Baltimore because they can eat and drink and have a good time a lot cheaper than here in DC. But if you go there, the Baltimore Museum of Art is worth going to see. You got Fort McHenry you can check out when you're there. You can see the Wolters Museum of Art. No relation. They spelled the name wrong. It's W-A there. You've got a railroad museum. You have a lot of things you can do in here. The Inner Harbor you can go check out, which is really nice. You can go to Walkfell's Point Historic District. There's a lot of things you can do in Baltimore. And again, it's a lot cheaper to go out and enjoy yourself when you're in Baltimore than it is in D.C. And Baltimore is like, 40 minutes to an hour drive north of D.C. There's an Amtrak train that goes up there. There's plenty of options to get to Baltimore, so that could be a good day trip for you as well. Now, another place in Maryland you can go to is actually Annapolis, Maryland, the capital of Maryland. Yeah, that's just east of here. It's a historic city, so you have the historic parts to see. You have the State House you can go to. You have the waterfront you can enjoy, the Naval Academy, and there's a lot of things you can do, which is right nearby. Now, if you're looking to drive a little bit farther and get more of American history, in about an hour and a half, you can get to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, where the Battle of Gettysburg happened, and so you can go through that historic park there in the historic battlefield. It is done up very well, lots of explaining, and you can drive through and check out a lot of the stuff. If you can do a tour there, it's really worthwhile, so that's something you can do. But it is an hour and a half drive from here, so maybe you want to sign up for a tour that will take you for a day. And then I have another one, which some people consider a day trip from here, which is not a day trip. You need to spend a night there because it's a little bit farther. It's about 2.5 hours away, and that's Historic Williamsburg. Historic Williamsburg, for me, is a place when I was a kid, we would come here and then we'd go to Williamsburg and enjoy them, showing us how the Smiths work and how did everybody live back in the day during the Revolution and in the historic buildings that are there. And it's actually a really fun place to go to learn about living history, so it's worth going to see. But I know for kids, it might get a little bit boring, so when you're there, you can also hit up Busch Gardens and enjoy the roller coasters as well. But at 2.5 hours of a drive away, maybe it's not exactly the best day trip to go on. Then there are other places you can go see in Virginia and Maryland that are close by. So I do ask, if you're watching this and you have a favorite day trip from DC, put it down in the comment section below so people can get more ideas of what to do. And yes, there are exploring right near this city. You can go to Arlington and check out the National Cemetery there. You can go to, other parts of the city. There's a lot of stuff you can do that isn't really in this core part of the capital, but you could enjoy. So give us some more ideas so more people can enjoy DC and the surrounding areas. Anyway, I wish y'all the best and bye from here at the Capitol.